Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my list of top basketball shoes to get if you're a guard, right? So if you're a guard, you're probably looking for like a lighter shoe, but most importantly, a responsive shoe, a shoe that you can feel very quick in, right? So for example, if a shoe doesn't have good traction, then you're gonna be sliding all over the place, and that's not good, of course, obviously, right? And also, if a cushion is a little too soft and a little too mushy, it probably isn't gonna be as responsive as you would like, so you're not gonna feel as quick on your feet. So that's also another thing that's important, like a responsive cushioning setup. Also, something that's low to the ground. You know, I have a lot of friends that are guards and they like to feel that court feel. Also, like a minimal material, something that's not too bulky and too heavy, you know what I mean? So yeah, these are my top picks if you are a guard, and of course this is just my opinion. I am a guard too, and these are all shoes that I really enjoy playing in. So if you guys do want to cop any of these shoes, I try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the Nike PG6. Solid shoe. Everyone just get it. You know, it's an amazing shoe. It's 110 bucks too, so it's really cheap, and the traction is top tier. You can't beat the traction. I mean, like, it has an amazing bite, really good bite. On a clean court, it picks up very minimal dust as well. If it does pick up a little bit of dust, it's a very easy wipe. Cushion also is really good, right? You're low to the ground in the forefoot. The heel gets a little bit higher, but it is full length React, and you get a nice bounce in the heel and also nice compression. Impact protection is great. Also, the materials with the textile are very thin. It conforms to your foot very well. One thing I will say though that the PG6 can do a little bit better is support, right? So for me personally, it wasn't a huge deal, right? It was not a deal breaker at all. But I am a lighter dude, so I don't need as much support as, you know, comparing to someone that's heavier and does a lot of lateral movements, right? But I mean, like, as far as a sidewall or lateral counters go, the rubber outsole and the foam does come up to act as a sidewall. So I don't really have any problems with that, and I don't think a lot of people will have problems with that. But the material is a little soft, you know what I mean? So your foot is gonna move a little bit on top. You know what I mean? So if you're a heavier dude, you definitely feel it a lot more than me. But still, like, I don't think it'll be to the point where like it's terrible support even if you're a bigger dude. It's just not the most supportive shoe on this list. Forward lateral containment, so do watch out for that. But for the most part, the PG6 is an amazing shoe. All right, next we got the Nike Kyrie Infinity, right? So the Kyrie Infinity has solid traction. I wouldn't say it's the best traction on this list, but it has a very solid bite. You do have to break it in a little bit as well. Durability is terrible on that shoe though, so do not play on outdoor court. Cushion, however, is really nice. Or I feel like most people will enjoy it. It's a little too much for me at times just because the forefoot zoom stroll unit is really crazy. There's a lot of compression, it's pretty damn thick, and it's not segmented really at all. If you look at, you know, like full-length zoom stroll units, like in the KD14 or KD15, Jordan 36, it's like segmented, you know what I mean? So it's not like as unstable feeling to me, but in the Kyries it's not really segmented, so it feels a little bit more unstable in the forefoot, but I do know some people that really like it, so just, of course, that's just me personally. But court feel is really good. Heel cushion isn't the best though, but it is responsive. Materials are really comfortable and very thin in the forefoot, but then gets really nice and cozy and also really comfortable in the ankle area and for the tongue, right? So but it doesn't feel like super bulky or heavy really at all. It's actually a really light shoe, like as far as the overall weight goes. So yeah, I mean, you'll feel really quick and responsive in the shoe, and also support is really good, right? All right, next we got the MB1 by Puma, LaMelo Ball's signature shoe. And yeah, that's an amazing shoe. I absolutely love playing that shoe. Amazing bite for traction. It does pick up a little bit of dust, but it's a very easy wipe. And also another thing that I love about that shoe is the outsole curvature, right? It's awesome. It reminds me a lot of old school Kyrie's, which of course I really like. The cushion also, I mean, the court feel isn't the best, but it's not horrible. But you get a soft ride, right? It's a soft cushion. You get great impact protection. So if you're like a really like athletic guard, I guess, and you need a little bit more impact protection, then the MB1 is a great option. Also, it's a really supportive shoe. The mono mesh is like thin. It's a thin material, but it's like stiff, right? So it feels a lot more supportive than like the PG6 and also the Kyrie 8 in the forefoot. And also for the tongue and ankle area, it's very well padded. It is a little bit on the heavier side. It's like 13-14 ounces, so it's not like, it doesn't feel as minimal as the Kyries or the PG6, but of course you get very good support and also that coziness from the material, which of course is more like a subjective thing, right? But it's still a really responsive shoe and you feel really quick in the MB1 as well. One shoe that I really want to try is a Low though. I mean, I tried to get the UFO colorway and it's sold out, and they actually charged my card. They charged me for the shoe, but then I never got the shoe, so yeah. But anyways, once the other colorways do come out, I definitely do want to try it. But there is the MB1. Next, of course, we got the Kyrie 9, Kyrie Flow 9. Traction is too damn good. You know what I mean? It's so damn good that I kind of like trip over myself a little bit, you know what I mean? But yeah, the bite is amazing. Like just from my experience, I really never had any issues with dust, like performance on dust. But I saw some comments, like some of you guys said like it wasn't the best on a dusty court, which is weird, just because maybe it's like the finish on my wood floors or like at my gym, just because, you know, when I'm testing a shoe and it's not biting well on dust and I bring the Kyrie 9, I never have any issues. You know what I mean? So maybe it's that, I don't know, but just from my experience, it was amazing on dust. And a cushion, of course, is more responsive, right? Not the softest cushion, it's not the best for impact protection or anything, but it has good court feel and responsiveness. Material also is really, really thin, so it feels very minimal on foot, and I really had zero issues with support, right? I would actually say it's a little bit more supportive than the PG6. So yeah, the Kyrie 9 is a great option. And next we got the Under Armour Kyrie 4 Flow Trail. So yeah, it's a little bit, it's pretty much the same exact shoe as a Kyrie 9, but like the material is a little bit more cozy, right? Just because of that suede, and also that knit material is super comfortable as well as it stretches over your foot. So yeah, I mean, if you want something a little bit more cozy and a little bit more comfortable, then get the Kyrie 4 Flow Trail. If you want something more minimal, then go with the Kyrie 9. But of course, the midsole and outsole is pretty much exactly the same, and the traction is amazing and cushion is responsive. Next, of course, we got the Harden Volume 6. So this is the exception, right? So the Harden Volume 6 is actually relatively heavy. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it's like 13, 14, maybe bordering like 15 ounces. Actually, let's check. I got the shoe right here, so let's check. Why not, right? So yeah, 15.17 ounces. So yeah, definitely it's heavy, but it's a really, really responsive shoe just because the traction is top tier. Now, you're gonna be biting, like stopping on a dime, you're gonna feel like you're playing on glue, right? So this herringbone is really, really good. Picks up very minimal dust as well. Cushion also, you're super freaking low to the ground. So great, amazing core feel, but also step-in comfort is really good just because they made the strobel board really soft. So of course we have full length boost, right? So that, I love the cushioning setup and traction combo in the shoe. Feel really quick and responsive, but also the material is really, really supportive, right? So if you're a person that wants like absolute support, like really, really good support, then the Hardens are a phenomenal option, right? The material, like I said, it's a really supportive material. I mean, it does get soft, especially like you got to break it in. It's like kind of stiff at first, but once you do break it in, it gets a little softer. But like, you know, it's not as soft as, you know, like the Kyrie 9 material, the Kyrie 8s, you know? But like I said, it's more supportive, right? And it's especially for lateral containment. So if you're a really big dude, you're still gonna have really good support even on lateral containment. So yeah, the Harden Volume 6, although it is heavier, it makes up for it with amazing support, and also you'll feel really quick in it just because it has really good traction and support, and also the cushion is responsive. So yeah, there is the Harden Volume 6. Next, we got the Jordan Zoom Separate. One of my favorite shoes to ball in, actually. The traction is top tier, amazing bite, very minimal dust pickup as well, but the cushion is a really nice overall cushioning setup, you know what I mean? So you have a top-loaded forefoot zoom unit, which gives you a nice little subtle bounce in the forefoot, nothing too crazy like the Kyrie Infinity. And then the foam in the heel is actually quite soft, but it's not too soft, like it doesn't feel mushy or anything, but there's a nice compression in the heel. Material also is really minimal, right? In the forefoot, it feels really comfortable with like the stretchier type of material, but also like in the ankle area, we have like really nice foam. And then for the tongue, we have, it has very minimal padding as well. So yeah, I really like the Zoom Separate, and also I really like the teetering. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the outsole curvature, like in the MB1, but it's not as crazy, but it also like teeters, and I really like how that feels, just in my personal opinion. So there is a Zoom Separate. Next, of course, we got the Jordan 36, and I'd recommend the Low just because it's a Low. I like playing lows, and also the regular Jordan 36 didn't have great ankle support, and it's $20 cheaper. So yeah, just get the lows if you can. But yeah, traction is phenomenal. Cushion, we got full length zoom strobe, which is very bouncy. Also nice compression in the heel. Materials are extremely thin, like one of the thinnest materials you can get in a basketball shoe. Very good ventilation, but also really good for support. So the Jordan 36 low is a great option. Next, we got the Nike KD15. Traction is phenomenal, really minimal dust pickup, and pretty much the same exact cushioning setup as the Jordan 36. And then the material is very minimal, especially in the forefoot, but there's a little bit of foam in the tongue and also in the ankle area, which does feel cozy. I had zero issues with support, but the heel slippage, I mean, it wasn't a huge deal, like it wasn't a deal breaker for me, but I definitely did experience heel slippage. So just be careful on that. I feel like it varies depending on the person. Like I've heard people that really didn't like it because of the heel slippage. I also heard people that don't really mind it all too much like me. So, but you know, there is a KD15. Next, we got the New Balance 2-Way 2, also one of my favorite shoes to play. An amazing shoe. So the traction is top tier. Very amazing bite on the clean court and very minimal dust pickup as well. The cushion also is really low to the ground like the Harden Volume 6, right? It's on par with the Hardens. That's how good the court feel is. But also, I would actually say I like the cushion in the 2-Way 2 better because it has a nice bounce back in the heel and also a little bit more compression as well. The material also is a lot more minimal than the Hardens, right? It's a really lightweight shoe. I would actually say like the support for lateral containment isn't as good as the Hardens. Like I would actually say it's probably similar to the PG6, maybe just a tiny bit better. So do be careful on that if you want a lot of support in the shoe. But the 2-Way 2, like I really didn't have any issues with that. So yeah, the 2-Way 2 it's an amazing shoe. All right, next is a shoe that you can't really get. I mean, I did see like a really cool colorway, but I don't really know if it'll be on Nike.com just because the One Take 3 sells out pretty quickly, right? But I did see it on like Finish Line and like East Bay. So, but if you're like looking on Nike.com, it's like kind of hard to get. But anyways, the Jordan 1 Take 3, Russell Westbrook's budget shoe is actually better than his signature shoe in my personal opinion. Like the traction is solid and the cushion I really like. You know, it's definitely not the best cushioning setup on this list, but I do like the top loaded 4-foot zoom unit. And also the heel is more like responsive, but there is a little bit of compression in the heel, which I do like. And the material is extremely thin. Like, it doesn't look like that thin for some reason, but like once you feel it, it's extremely minimal. So yeah, overall a really responsive shoe as well. Next, of course, we got the Nike Zoom GT Cut. I didn't want to put it on this list just because you can't really get it. I mean, there was that kind of like greenish, bluish color, like colorway that came out, which I really did like, but it sold out really quickly. So, but anyways, you guys already know the Zoom GT Cut is absolutely amazing. Full length Zoom strobe, you got a drop-in React midsole as well. And traction is phenomenal. Very minimal dust pickup. Support is amazing. It did feel a little clunky. I mean, if I was to nitpick, it did feel a little clunky in the heel, but not really a huge issue at all for me. So there is the Zoom GT Cut, but I also am excited about the Zoom GT Cut 2 as well. That was leaked. But last but not least, we got a very cheap shoe, and that is the Leaning D-Low Ice, or I guess Wave D-Low Ice, right? But yeah, it's a cheap shoe, relatively cheap. It's $100, but the traction is top tier. Very minimal dust pickup as well. If it does pick up dust, very easy and slight wipe. The cushion, however, isn't the best. I would actually say it's probably one of the worst cushioning setups on this list, which does suck. But I mean, like, it's a $100 shoe, and cheaper shoes usually, like, companies cut back on the cushion, like the tech for the cushion, right? So that does make sense. But it's a really responsive, low to the ground setup. So if you're okay with that, then that's good. But if you want like nice step and comfort like the Hardens or I don't know, Bounce or something like that, then you won't get it here in the D-Low Ice. Also the material, like with the textile material, is really nice. It feels very comfortable. It reminds me of like a jacquard material. And yeah, it conforms to your foot very well, but also it's like supportive. It feels minimal on foot. The tongue also is like a mesh, which is very minimal. And then in the ankle area, there's not a whole lot of padding. So it feels like a very minimal shoe, but also support I really had zero issues with. I would actually say it's more supportive than like the PG6 and the 2-Way 2 for like lateral containment. So yeah, if you're like a younger dude and you don't really care about impact protection and you want a really like minimal feeling and also very quick feeling shoe as well, then the D-Low Ice is a great option. Also, it's a great looking shoe too. So anyways, that about concludes my list. I guess maybe I can also put in the Giannis Immortality. It's a very lightweight and minimal shoe as well. Great traction, cushion also is really responsive like the D-Low Ice, but not the best for impact protection. Yeah, like if you're looking to save money, 80 bucks, Giannis Immortality is a great option as well. But my favorites on this entire list, I mean, all of these shoes I really like playing in, right? But I got my top 3 on this entire list, and that would be the New Balance 2A2, the Jordan Zoom Separate, and the Nike PG6. And of course, that's just my opinion, but I just kind of like find myself gravitating towards those shoes when I need to like take a shoe and like play ball in it. I'm like, I kind of want to play in the Zoom Separates or the PG6 or the 2A2. You know what I mean? I play in those a lot more, right? But of course, like I keep saying, all these shoes are amazing. And all of these shoes perform pretty differently as well. You know what I mean? Like the cushion is pretty different, materials and how it feels as far as like if there's enough support, or like, you know, how the padding is, where it's minimal and stuff like that for the upper as well. So if you do want to check out the full performance review, of course, they are available as well. But yeah, that about concludes my list. Again, if you guys want to cop any of these shoes, I try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.